Oof. Pause. Pause.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Console Gaming League multi-tier tournament. You are watching the start of the Tier 3 semifinals. It's Space versus Excalibur Outlaw. I'm Corbeck, joined here in the booth by Chicken and Rin on production. We're bringing you this exciting matchup. Just waiting for the teams to give us the final ready up here as we get set to jump into our first map, which will be Junkertown. Chicken, anything interesting you can tell us about these two teams? Who you think's going to win here as we get ready to start our first map?
Space has had this really aggressive playstyle that has given teams a hard run for their money to adapt to throughout most of the tournament, and have proven that last week against the Throne as they are coming off of a 3-2 win, while Excalibur last week came off of a 3-0 against Tryhards, and that this could be an interesting matchup. However, Space does seem to have had a schedule that has challenged them more over time, and I see them being able to win.
Indeed, well, it is worth saying, actually, that matchup was not really last week. It was actually this Wednesday. So Space coming out of a very sort of slugfest there, I think, with the Throne on Wednesday night that went to 5 maps. They ended up pulling off the reverse sweep. Now they're coming to this match with Excalibur pretty much less than 48 hours after that match. Do you think that's going to have a significant impact on their ability to do well here?
While I do believe it could have impacted their preparation and how much they have prepared, I also believe that their playstyle as a whole will easily be able to just throw Excalibur off, even if they've done research on it. Plus, Space team seems to have a plan, I'm sure, already set in place.
Indeed, well, Space did look relatively prepared, at least on the final 3 matches of their match on Wednesday night. I think we've got the ready up from both teams here, so we're going to get started jumping into Junkertown, the Thunder Down Under. Used to be a very unpopular map. I feel like it's grown a little bit in popularity since then, Space, but in terms of strategies, based on what we kind of saw earlier this week, what we've seen from both these teams, do you think we can expect a sort of classic pirate ship running through the running through the outback here, or do you think these teams will go for something different?
I could see Space going for either a bunker comp here, because that is a very popular choice, or go with their classic, more goatsy comps. While Excalibur could do anything here. They are very unknown going into this map, as they have
Yes, I
not
feel like
really
we
had
haven't.
one strategy.
Yeah, we haven't seen Excalibur play in a while. It's true, Chicken. I can't remember. You said that they won their quarterfinals match in a straight 3-0. Maybe they've had a goodly amount of time to practice and lay some plans out here, especially all things considered, Space having played that game so soon, coming back in. But it looks like neither team immediately shaping up to be running the pirate ship, though we see Arrow over there on the Torbjorn, so maybe some variation, who knows? Or that could obviously be a bit of a debate, as it so often is when we see a particular bearded Swede lining up. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like we're looking at a Sombra, so a 2 DPS, a standard 2-2-2 there with Duke on the Widowmaker, and Time Zone picking up the Sombra as they get ready to start. And that Torbjorn they're sticking with it for the moment. Looks like they will be coming out to run the Pirate Ship. Immediately onto point is Bongo. He's waiting for the rest of the team. Turret is out. Nature's Chicken going down very early, though. That's unfortunate there. The Widowmaker immediately winning that sniper duel, if you can even call it one. Torbjorn going on a wide flank here, actually getting up to the high ground. Arrow wants to look for maybe an opportunistic pick, something to even the odds just a little bit. Spawn advantage will come into favor for them at this point in time, considering that Ash will come back quickly, but already the kill feed starting to go blue as it's DK Bongo who goes down first. This time that front line duel being dominated right now by DJ and Atomic Rider. And they, I think, back maybe to their spawn. Cosmic actually dropping in to try and contest, won't make it back. He goes down almost immediately. Bongo switching over to the Winston, and they're right back in the spawn, and they look a little trapped here, Chicken.
Yes, and also due to the fact they swapped so much, it will be hard for them to build up those ults, which can easily turn around a fight. Notice how, while they have higher Lucio percentage, they did just swap to dive here on Junkertown against the bunker, which is an interesting pick.
Well, it's a dive of sort, but we still see Arrow on that Torbjorn there, so a little maybe unorthodox as the jump comes in from Bongo there, trying to pressure this tank front line, but DJ not even fussed by that, backing up, giving a little bit of room. Meanwhile, Joe coming back to support his tank. DJ finally going down there, succession of shots from the Torbjorn, rending them low, but they're back on deck here almost immediately, and Atomic Rider's doing a great job of pumping damage in, trying to clear off that point, and again the kill feed turning blue here, and Excalibur is forced back into their spawn to reset here.
And it also seems like they've just given up on the Widowmaker, as Duke has ended up winning against Nature's Chicken almost every time. Looks like they swapped to Doomfist here with the dive tanks while keeping the Torbjorn, while the ults are also coming online on the side of Excalibur, meaning they could turn this next fight.
They could indeed turn this next fight. They're looking for the engage. This big EMP over the top by Time Zone, though. He's got 5 members of the enemy team in that. They're completely backmasted by this. They have to get in the hiding. They're trying to survive, but it won't make a difference. Molten Core out on point, but really it's too little too late. Doomfist now, Nature's Chicken has the nano boost, trying to get in some kills, but won't find anything. Arrow, the only member of the entirety of Excalibur that's able to pick something up, but then Nature's Chicken is immediately burned down. So despite investing a really, at least an ultimate 2 in there, they really get nothing out of that.
Yeah, and due to the fact that, Space also invested the EMP, which is a major ult that will be used. It almost seems like the ult economy has started to go more in favor of Excalibur going into the next fight.
Well, the ult economy may be building in Excalibur's favor, and they're going to start actually by dropping a D.Va Bomb, but it's a little misplaced. There doesn't really get anything at all. Finally, though, they managed to round the corner, come out of the alleyway. Meteor Strike up in the air. I don't think that was used to escape. Sound Barrier comes down, maybe a little preemptive there. Jay and Joe on the other side, more than happy to unleash a bit more of an effective Sound Barrier. EMP again comes in. And they're just hurting them on the backside here. Excalibur completely trapped, nowhere to go. Bongo, the last sort of surviving member, trapped in the bubble, and they'll stagger the D.Va there for good measure as well.
Man, and also, it seems like the DPS on the side of Space have just been Excalibur's menace the whole game, as I don't think Duke has went down once. They have not countered the Widowmaker, even though they
basically doing whatever they want up there on the high ground. They've switched over Nature's Chicken on the Hanzo now, but Strider hooked in early, brought down almost immediately. The dive cut before it even could begin. DK Bongo on the point trying to fight it out. Cosmic here doing the Lucio dance as well, trying to keep this alive. A Primal Rage will get unleashed by Bongo. He's trying to knock around the tanks a little bit, but he's just losing health. The displacement just not there from the Primal Rage, but they're making a fight of it here. They might have an opportunity to turn this around. You see the arrow is straight up in the face of GJ there, just pumping damage in on the Reaper, but it won't be enough. Goes down. That being said, the kill feed looking relatively even, and they managed to sneak it in. Oh no members were there to contest Chicken. My lord, they snuck it right around the outside.
They snuck it right under. Now the Space needs to back up before the rest of Excalibur is able to get back and get staggers, which it looks like they have done. Oh man, that's disastrous.
I was so focused on the action that was going on the outside edge. I didn't even see who managed to sneak that point around. Nobody came back to contest it.
Members.
Excalibur Outlaws actually just getting a lifeline delivered to them right there by their opponents. And if you're Space, you've got to be kicking yourself just a little bit here, but they're coming out immediately to re-engage. Time Zone approaching another EMP. Nature's Chicken in good high ground position, immediately going to get pressured by the Sombra, but Reaper there to assist. This cart still moving forward, not a lot of resistance in this streets phase. DJ backing up here, having a lot of ground, goes down. EMP comes in 6. It's a huge EMP, but do they have the damage to follow up on it? Most of the kills look like they're red. They will get the res on DJ, but I think it's just a little too late. DJ puts down the beatdown bongos as well at the end there and will go down. Joe dropping over the top to try and contest. Resistant Duke flipping in on the McCool and hold on as well, but there's not enough dancing in the world to keep Lucio alive there, and that's a relatively easy street phase for the folks from Excalibur.
Space needs to stabilize here. They've just been staggering in. And they have switched off the Arista to a Hamster. An interesting tank duo coming out against the dive. But it can work. As anything can.
It's true, but look at that, getting a good look at the ult economy there as DJ drops in on the top, causes a little bit of disruption, but nearly 6 ultimates on deck, the full Monty there for Excalibur. Meanwhile, on the other side, just 2 with maybe a Valkyrie in the waiting for space. There comes the sound barrier by JM Joe. They're going to use that to initiate, maybe a high noon out of it as well. They'll get nothing. Bomb over the top. Coalescence on the backside. Bomb gets 2 despite being a little poorly placed. Strider cleaning up there. That's going to clear this pathway forward for Excalibur, and they're just going to go for it. DJ trying desperately to contest, blown out of midair by Strider in the Diva mech. Flies up there and just shoots him down. And wow, they're moving through these last 2 stages.
This is just going to have to be a stagger battle here after a point. Due to the fact that it's so close to the cart. And Excalibur still has the ultimate.
Sound barrier comes out. Death Loss in the back line trying to get someone. JM Joe, I think, was the target there. Does not work. Hero bashed and destroyed by the Vega in the back line. But the fight boiling around the point now. Dragons across the front here. DJ Lowstar drops into it, takes a little bit of damage, but will be relatively fine. Minefield deployed around the point. Actually manages to get PhD Cosmic in the midst of that. And now the kill feed turning blue here as the members of Excalibur Outlaws are pushed back around the corner. Some good strategic ultimate usage there, I would say, Chicken, from Space to turn that around.
Yes, very. And it almost seems like they're going to have enough ultimates to win the next fight, as the closest ultimate that is not online for Excalibur happens to be the Mora ult, and they only have the Primal Rage. Oh, but there's been a DC.
And we'll throw the pause in there real quick. It looks like DJ Lola Star disconnecting there for a second. That does unfortunately happen, giving the setup, as it were, but they're coming back in now. All right, we'll see in a second. But Chicken, it does look like the ultimate bank in favor of the folks for Space here. It looks like Lola Star is back in, so we'll just make sure that they're... Oh, nope. Might have DC'd again. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. That's very unfortunate, but it does look like the ultimate bank slightly in favor of the folks from Space at the moment. Let me just confirm that they're back in. Do you think that's going to make a big difference with only 40 seconds left on the clock?
Yes, because of the fact that Excalibur will have a hard time attacking with no ultimates. And worst comes to worst, they can just use the Diva ult to throw into the air and make them go away for a minute to stall for time. And not to mention that they do have the Brigida ult, and they're not too terribly far from the Mercy. On the side of Excalibur, there's only a 68% on the Mora, and that is the closest one outside of Bangu.
Well, it does look like Lola Star is back with us in the land of the living. So we'll restart here, coming into 40 seconds left for the tail end of the Outback. Lola Star are going to have to pick a character and get back in here, but the spawn advantage is favoring them in this situation. They're going to go with a Bastion, so fair play. Never mind, they're back on the Hammonds again. 3 ultimates on deck here. We'll see if they can make anything out of it as the engagement begins. They're coming in very organized. DJ Low Star in there trying to disrupt again. Goes for the hammer down, actually misses that mile drive. Stuck back up in the air. DK Bongo on the point. Coalescence unleashed. High noon in response. Is he going to be able to find anyone? No, he's knocked aside, and Diva Bomb coming in the back line now gets no one. So 2 ults traded, only 1 Diva mech the casualty. Primal Rage unleashed on the point now, just trying to keep things alive here. So Excalibur finally slowing down, gonna have to keep this alive. DJ contesting as well. Good contest coming out from both sides. Sound barrier dropped in. That will help the members of Excalibur continue this fight. Nature's Chicken cleaning up on the Doomfist here, but is it enough for them to break through the spawn advantage? Valkyrie in the air, keeping the members of the team up. A bomb over the top. That's pretty much point blank. Gets one. It's Atomic Grinder sneaking out of the fight. DJ ulting on point. Nature's Chicken following it up very quickly. The fight continuing there. Mines actually claiming some casualties, but Excalibur still with the majority of bodies on the point. A remake by Atomic Rider on the backside of a res will allow that Diva to get back in this fight, as the folks from Space just contesting out here. The fight continuing to go on. Neither team wants to get it off, but they C9. Oh no, they step off for just half a second. DJ Lola Star there on the Wrecking Ball helping knock away, and that will signal the end of it.
It was a very interesting strategy from Space, going almost a dive sort of comp on the last point there, which, while there is a lot of high ground, isn't something you see that much. And the Doomfist was doing a lot on the side of Excalibur, but sadly they were unable to touch the point. We'll have to see what comes out on the defense here. It could be interesting.
Yeah, all credit there, I think, to Nature's Chicken, who was doing sort of a bang-up job on the Doomfist, trying to clear out those points. But when that spawn advantage is so not in your favor, as it is at the very tail end of Junkertown, it can be hard to get that final push through. Though, again, I should probably say credit to Space, I think, using their ultimates well and managing to just hold on there by their fingernails, as it were. But still, a hold is a hold, Chicken. So we'll see what they have on the offense.
Except the defense is going to go something unorthodox, too. 4 tanks with the Lucio and a Baptiste healing, which is a very interesting combo when you have to heal that many characters at once.
Indeed. The Baptiste, though, he can really pump it out. I mean, it's more about the quality of the Baptiste player at this stage, considering how new that character is to Overwatch. Looks like they're actually going to go for a cheeky early stall here, Chicken. They might try and rush this Bastion before they even have a chance to set up as the countdown begins. And it's a strategy we've seen run a few times in CGL matches now. It's all about how you time it right. They're waiting for the opportunity. They're going to go. There's the speed boost, but Time Zone already on the point. In turret mode, they might have delayed just a little too long, and indeed it seems to be the case. Time Zone clearing up 2 here. Oh no, they're wiping the floor at them, and Bongo goes down as well, and that's a complete wipe there of Excalibur. So despite that cheeky opening strat, Chicken, I don't think that really worked.
I don't think it worked. Yeah, and it also seems like Time Zone is not going to be too far from that configuration tank, as the ults are actually extremely far. In fact, only in the teams on the side of Excalibur. While Space seems to have a clear advantage here as Excalibur tries to come back.
Oh, and already Resistance Duke getting an early pick there on Nature's Chicken. Time Zone more than happy with this positioning. The shield will need to come down. Time Zone is in it, so he'll survive. Here comes Excalibur with a final last-ditch contest on this first point. There's a charge by Bongo. He's way out of position. Lola Star spins around and just helps burn him down. They have forced, I think, the Bastion off the card, but it matters very little. Space just absolutely cleaning up here. So the high risk, high reward there doesn't really work out for them that time.
No, but it also seems like they've just let Duke run rampant on the Widowmaker most of this match. He's just been uncontested and has been getting 1 to 2 kills every fight. Not to mention Time Zone has the configuration tank going into the next fight, and Atomic Rider is mirroring Diva self-destruct.
Well, Excalibur going for a cheeky drop down on the back of the payload, but they're all over it because Resistance Duke saw it coming in. That being said, Time Zone down initially. Atomic Rider trying to chase it back. There will be a res. I think, no, the res is broken up. Actually, Arrow Killer on the jump grab manages to stop the res from coming in. That's a spectacular play. They'll actually clear this payload. Now it's a full retreat from Space. And whether or not they hold on to this Bastion and try and get the best out of this tank ult, looks like that is what they're going to do here, Chicken, as Time Zone setting up on the high ground. If he drops into tank configuration almost immediately, going to take an attack by himself.
Interesting move there in Time Zone. What an aggressive move.
Push it forward just a little bit. They might actually be able to reset this. The entire Excalibur is back off. The beatdown Bongo's coming out now with a ton of damage. GJ Lola Star holding down the point here. Those Bongos are still active and they're pushing this forward. This is absolutely amazing. Excalibur managed to break The Bastion, they throw it entire, it gets absolutely nothing. Sound barriers coming out from both sides, and Nano Boost in as well. They go for the charge on Time Zone. Time Zone is anti-nated and brought down, so they'll kill the Bastion again. Maybe the tide beginning to shift, but a ton of space picked up here by Space on the backside of that they really shouldn't have gotten as they're pushed back again. Excalibur maybe finally restabilizing their chicken, but they got to be scratching their heads just a little bit. They gave up a lot of room on the back of one tank ult.
Luckily, though, the ults are about to come online for Excalibur, while Space seems to be switching up their comp, meaning the only thing I have is a D.Va bomb going into the next fight. Meanwhile, on the side of Excalibur, there's the Earth Shatter and Self-Destruct, which tends to be a deadly combination when used correctly.
Well, Lola Star back over to the Wrecking Ball now, going up, hemming in. He's got a little bit of damage, trying to be disruptive. You can see Excalibur kind of bunching up here, circling the wagons again. DJ Lola Star narking them around. There comes the D.Va bomb over the top. There won't be a play. There will be a play. Cosmic goes down, and Resistant Duke gets a kill in the inside of that as well. So that's 2 to initiate here. DJ dropping in again. The kill's coming fast and furious. It's a decent shatter, but it really won't get enough. Bomb over the top gets absolutely no one. Strider's going to want that one back. And again, the Wrecking Ball up and in. This time it's the Ana who falls victim, and they're just pushing forward now. Strider, the only real contest, as Cosmic tries to come in and dance like it's a late-night disco on the point. Won't make it out. Junkrat burned out of the air, and oh no, it's Nature's Chicken now jumping in to the Thunderdome, but it won't really matter. They're able to push through there. So on the back of a really good D.Va bomb to sort of initiate things, Chicken, they open it up.
It looks like Nature's Chicken is unable to use Roost as well, so he's having a lot of trouble here actually moving in and doing anything, really, due to the fact that his team is just getting annihilated most of these fights. This will be an interesting one going into it as well, because they're running the dive on third point, as I said it before, which is an interesting one.
Indeed, you don't often see the dive here, but it works perhaps for this team. Space trying to contest the high ground already, but they'll have to give it up. Don't even as I see it, that arrow gets brought down, so that's an early pick again in favor of Space. High Noob coming out as well, gets 3! Well, 2 technically if you don't count the Junkrat, but you might as well. Now they're just killing all over the place. The DPS for Space coming in spades here, just slaughtering Excalibur's defense and picking it apart. And that's absolute chaos. This is the worst case scenario for Excalibur. They're going to have to regroup quickly and come back in and contest Chicken, or they're not going to get another one.
Yes, and looks like they're going to try to do it with the Junk Tire. But the Junkrat's going to go down from the D.Va, and there's going to be a sound barrier thing on.
Tire does get one at Skylar, so it's a big pick on the Mercy there. D.Va bomb is thrown in, that gets one as well. The ultimate's all going pretty much in favor of Space at this point in time, and they look absolutely dominant. Someone call Excalibur, tell them they don't have a lot of time left. They've got to get people on the point of Reaper coming out. Now Reaper won't quite make it back. Sound barrier, though, might just save them here. Cosmic again doing a great job of contesting the point. That gives Mongo time to jump back on and fight. The kill feed going back and forth, but a Valkyrie from a return, Skylar. Good anti-nade there in on Star, just causing a little bit of havoc, but again, pretty much clear on the point. Dragons unleashed across it. They won't catch, oh they will! DJ rolls back into that one, but they're so close here, we're talking a matter of meters as they try and finish this off, and the kill's still going in favor of Space, but it does look like Excalibur has managed to reset their defense here. Still 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock, and really not very far to go. About 0.17 a meter by my count.
Yeah, and also the fact of the matter is that Excalibur now has a decent amount of ults going into the next fight. But the tank ults, as a matter of fact, ironically, the tanks have been making a lot of space on both sides.
Well, some might call it ironic, some might call it good tank play as they initiate here with the high noon. They're actually going to jump up and I think try and contest it, but it doesn't really work out. They don't get anything out of the high noon, but it doesn't stop Time Zone from picking up an early kill again. So starting this dueling D.Va bombs unleashed. Nothing from either of them. Time Zone plucked out in the backline, so that I think will reforce Space to back up. No, DJ says let's go for it. Drops down with a minefield partially blocked there by the platform above the point. Nano Boost coming in on the D.Va now, and a sound barrier as well. Lola Star is stunned and brought down in the backline, and now Space running out of time. They were looking so dominant coming in here, but now things not going their way. A Torbjorn in this as well. That turret placed in the back, just cleaning up the remains of the minefield as Space resets with almost less than 30 seconds on the clock.
You know, Taking back what I said before the last fight, it seems like the tanks on space are not making a lot of space.
Oof. Well, if you're killing them with the wordplay. That's just harsh. But here they come, 20 seconds on the clock underneath. Anarissa coming in now. Good pick early on the Ana, but they have to take advantage of that respawn time. They really have to get the rest of the kills as quick as they can. Sound Barrier coming out that will help them get aggressive. Atomic Rider's going to ride that one right in and take out DK Baco. But now Strider trying to get on point, gets burned down. The kill feed look lure the Democratic National Convention as they come up here to the final point of the payload. There is an attempt. Dust throws in the anti-nade. It's Dust. Ana, the only one who can touch, won't make it. And Space, by the absolute hairs of their chinny chin chins, will pick up the win here on Junkertown in the first map of this semifinal series.
Strider here was big on the diva at some points on the side of Excalibur, and definitely looks like one of the stronger points of their roster.
Indeed it does. So coming into our next map, it will be Nepal, a little bit of King of the Hill action for you, ladies and gentlemen. But there you have it. Space getting win number 1, starting the series off 1-0. We'll be right back with this CGL multi-tier tournament semifinal for Tier 3 in just a minute.
Hello guys and welcome
Hello,
back.
ladies and...
Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't sure at first.
Sorry.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CGL multi-tier Overwatch tournament. I'm Corbeck, joined here with Chicken and Rin on production. We are bringing you this semifinals match of the Tier 3. It is Excalibur Outlaws versus Space. Space taking a, well, narrow win on Junkertown, our first map to bring the series to 1-0, now entering into King of the Hill here on Nepal. And Chicken, you were saying that there was some sort of interesting player maneuvering going on in terms of the substitutions that have been made.
Ready for battle.
Yes, as you can see now, Spa is actually in instead of Duke. And from what I have heard, do not quote me, there may not be a Reinhardt player on the side of Space.
That could be a problem, but it looks like they are starting here on Sanctum, so Orisa play will do, and we've seen DJ Lola Star seem more than happy to play that Orisa so far. In fact, it looks, Chicken, like we'll be seeing Orisas from both sides, but a different choice maybe of DPS and off tanks, all things considered, as they get started here.
The Bearded
Coming
Swede is going to be coming out.
The Bearded Swede again. That's Arrow's second appearance on everybody's favorite engineer. And it's an early fight here. Going to start on the outside edge. That's not usually where you want to start him in your Orisa comps, but fair enough. Excalibur doing a little bit of a debate there. Drops down immediately, tries to bring this fight to the point. And sure enough, Space wants to take it here. They're going to fight it out. It's a pure Orisa brawl. Oh, Lola Star is booped. Oh no, PhD Cosmic with the huge play there. Knocks the Orisa right off the edge of the map, and that's the way you want to initiate if you're Excalibur. JM Joe in the backline trying to contest Bird down almost immediately, and it's a quick first point cap there for Excalibur on the back of some well-placed Lucio play.
Yeah, very interesting fight as well because Space attacks from an interesting position. But it looks like they're not going to change anything up as they go into this next fight. Oh, this is an interesting maneuver. Oh, this is a good one.
Wide rotate around the backside. They try and catch the Doomfist out there, but Nature's Chicken will avoid. DK Bongo taking the majority of the damage as Strider lost that shield very quickly. Will fortify again, dueling Orisa shields here. Bongo doing their best to keep the air above clear. Lola Star trapped and alone, burned down, and the kill starting to come in from Excalibur now. A little bit of panic from Space here. Atomic Rider popped up into the air, trying to escape. Nature's Chicken on the Doomfist gives pursuit with the rest of the team. They'll catch Skylar on the outside. Why not make it Spa as well? The only member still standing is Atomic Rider, who decides he's going to go down fighting. And that will signal an end, so 50% point control, and they're not really looking fussed here on Excalibur, are they, Chicken?
No, they are not. They actually have an ult advantage going into this next fight, or at least it seems. And due to the fact that they are both trying to play bunkers, it is a little bit harder to attack with an Orisa than it is to defend.
Well, they're going to initiate with Spa's Tire over the top, looking for an opportunistic pick. He was hunting the Moira, won't find it. High Noon coming out the other side. The Tire does finally get the Moira, but a point-blank Diva Bomb might be enough to clear out the point a little bit. Nature's Chicken again on an absolute tear on this Doomfist. Drops in with the ultimate, beats up on the Orisa in the backline, so the kill's being traded back and forth, but I think ultimately Excalibur will hold on to the point here, and they're coming up to the magical 85% number, as it looks like Space is making a contest with just 3 members. Coalescence coming out, a whole hog as well. Strider, oh no, damage absorbing most of that, will survive thanks to that Coalescence. Beatdown Bongos coming out from the other side, time zone back in with the res, but still Excalibur lighting up the kill feed red right now, doing their best to hold on to that point. In comes the Valkyrie, Lola Star the only one can touch. The Valkyrie means nothing. Oh, and it's curtains there for Space. They didn't even get a percentage point on the point.
It started to look worrying for Excalibur as well after they used a lot of ults fight right before it ended. And Nature's Chicken was put in the coop for a short time by time zone on the McCree. But it looks like they just were unable to complete it.
You're killing them. You're killing them with the wordplay. Nature's Chicken on the Doomfist actually looking pretty devastating there, all over the place in the kill feed. Definitely getting his name read out a couple of times as they prepare to go into the village here. Fun fact, if you actually look up above village, you can see the other 2 parts of the Nepal stage. Only figured that out like after I've been playing a year. See, it's an educational stream as well. Yes,
this is a very interesting thing.
You didn't know that.
Wow.
You didn't know that. It's an educational stream, folks. That's what we're all here at the CGL for. education and a good time. Immediately, two teams coming in. It looks like Excalibur. No, Excalibur, yeah, touching first. Space the high ground route, so they're going to have to drop in and fight, but Excalibur looks pretty happy, bunkered up as they are in here. Those Strider's shield looking dangerously low. Going to have to drop it there for a second, just trying to keep it alive. The brawl here, good Maywall. It splits the team a little bit for space. Now it's Time Zone Shield that's in danger. Swinging back and forth, no call for kills coming in. Finally, they bring in a big shatter, though, over the back line. The Maywall actually comes up to try and prevent any follow-up. Might cost Blue Shield their life, but most of the kills, I think, still in the loop. They're trading back and forth here, and space comes rolling onto the point to contest. They'll catch an arrow on the outside on that May and burn them down. Now it's just a Moira jumping on, trying to stall the capture a little bit longer. And no mercy there to be had, and they'll finally clip it, though, a solid 24% on the clock for Excalibur.
Time Zone has been zoning them out very well. And not to mention that he's very close to his shatter again, as his team looks like they're playing a good goat setup here. And Spot, with the Transcendence, might be able to give his team a nice win.
Well, a sound barrier to initiate, that sets up the charge, but he's moved right back there. Strider not getting much off of it. A good freeze on Time Zone, but they're not really able to follow up. There comes the Transcendence, just propping the team up, but Time Zone was isolated from the rest of the team, will be burned down. Brigida might be the next victim here. No, a grab coming out from the other side, and a sound barrier unleashed this time to help him push onto the grab. The Blizzard dropped immediately on point. They'll actually get 2 out of that. That was well played indeed. The Zenyatta could not float away, and neither could Zarya. And it looks like they'll have cleared everything up for the retake, so Excalibur holding on once again, and Space's vaunted Zen Goats, which they look so powerful on a Wednesday night, struggling just a little bit here, Chicken.
Yes, and it does seem like there's a different Reinhardt on the side of Space as well. Maybe mention that, and the fact that Space could win this off of the great Shatter Bomb combo, the Time Zone and the Time. It looks like the next fight is starting here.
Maywall up initially to block here. Time Zone looking to get in on the action. Skylar will actually do the charge. It's the Diva Bomb throw right in front. Oh, but you hear the death loss of the backline. Gets the Zenyatta to start. That's a huge pick, actually. Usually leads to a statistical loss in these sort of team fights. JM Joe saved by a Maywall of all things. Most of the kills pretty blue right now, though. It looks like they're cleaning up the point, and they'll flip it again. So these two teams brawling back and forth here over this little area in the DePaul Village.
Oh, the stagger. Oh, the stagger.
Oh, the stagger. You hate to see it. Absolutely brutal.
They had to do it to him. And it seems interesting as Excalibur will be able to push in with a couple of ults here on the next fight. While Space seems to have exhausted their supply.
Yeah, Space indeed did put everything they had into that last fight. Here they come. They're initiating a huge shatter. That's 4. The follow-up is real. The Diva Bomb around the backside. I don't think they're going to be able to throw. Oh, no, it doesn't get any kills, but that's okay. They're still cleaning up here. Nature's Chicken all in on the action. They're fighting as best they can. The sound barrier coming out, just keeping them alive a little bit. They're still holding on to 2 ultimates. They don't even want to use them. They'll catch the Brigida now, and that will clear the point. The May getting in on the action as well, but 95% on the clock, so Excalibur will have to play this perfectly, Chicken.
Oh, yes. They do still have an... They're close to losing their ult advantage, actually. If you look at it, while the Earth Shatter is almost back up, Space is close to all 5 of their ults, other than the Brigida.
Well, here they come in again. We might see the May Blizzard deployed on the point. The Coalescence coming out. It's a huge hammer down the other direction. The Shatters have been so fast. Diva Bomb now thrown across the point, won't get anything. It opens up the opportunity for Time Zone to go in with a pin, but I don't know that they're going to be able to follow up on it. Time Zone looks like he's getting sectioned off again. Skylar trying to play on the Reinhardt's hip. They need to contest the point. They will get someone on there. Sound barrier used by Joe just to delay, trying to hold on, hoping that members of his team will get back, but he's hoping in vain. They'll clear the point as Zubiata trying to get it. He's knocked away. And Excalibur will take Nepal with a solid 2-0. Despite a close map there on Village Chicken, they shut them out on the first point, and they'll take this map and tie up the series.
Yes, and Nature's Chicken on the side of Excalibur, presenting himself every match consistently as the player to watch on the side of Excalibur, as he hasn't been cooped up the whole game. He has just been running rampant. Maybe Space
there
might
you
have a
go.
solution going into the next map.
Well, we'll see what they can bring out of the tank here, ladies and gentlemen. Score tied 1-1 in the semifinal Tier 3 match between Space and Excalibur. We'll be right back with more of the CGL multi-tier tournament after this break. sides of Storm. And then, yeah, just count me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the CGL multi-tier tournament. I'm Corbeck, joined here by Chicken and Rin in the production booth, and we are bringing you what is proving to be a very exciting matchup. It's the semifinals of Tier 3 Space versus Excalibur Outlaws. Currently tied 1-1. Space off to a sort of rip-roaring start there on Junkertown, but slowed down a little bit on Nepal, but Excalibur came back swinging. Now we go into our next map, Volskaya, the much dreaded, much hated, I would say, Chicken Volskaya. So it'll be interesting to see. We haven't seen 2CP yet from either of these squads. We did see some 2CP play in quarterfinals from both of them, Paris being the map, but Paris perhaps the only map more reviled than Volskaya when it comes to the 2CP category. But what do you think we can see here, Chicken?
Goats.
Goats?
And dive. Maybe
Goats
dive,
and
if they can get past the drum.
What about
the
goats
defense is
dive?
ugly.
What about a
Dive
combination
goats.
of the two?
That's
Dive
an
goats.
interesting. Floats.
Bloats? Floats? Dotes?
Float?
I don't know. I don't know who the official Overwatch community representative that's making up these abbreviations is, but all I know, Goats was a team, I know that, but I don't know how we're getting other things. Bastion Goats was what I heard. Boats.
Defense is
Torbjorn Goats.
interesting. Look at that. Torbjorn again with a main.
Arrow likes that Torbjorn, and we've seen a lot of our favorite engineer here today. It's a bit more than you would usually expect, but sure enough, it's pure goats on one side, a little bit more unconventional on the other. As Space comes charging in, Torbjorn turret already murked. Splicer wasting no time getting up and aggressive, swinging around with the hammer, trying to put in the damage. The dive coming back on the other side, trying to cause a little. Oh no! Bongo just destroyed on the bin. There's no mercy to be had there, and a triumphant Splicer comes charging onto the point, swinging for the fences. They're just trying to pick up another kill here. Arrow coming to the backside, trying to pump in damage on this Torbjorn, wants to get a pick of their own, but unfortunately it will go in favor of Space, and Space just cleaning up here. Soon it's only going to be the two supports in the Torbjorn. Make that one support in the make that nobody. And Space will effectively clear out Excalibur from the point, and that's a very quick first point cap there.
May I just say, spot on the Zenyatta was huge for the first point Space there. While Splixer also made a lot of space, Spot was able to take advantage of it and get a couple frags of his own on our favorite support character.
Well, having watched my team be on the receiving end of that Spa Zenyatta a couple of nights ago, I can tell you that it is a bit demoralizing to play. A huge hammer, oh my lord, straight down the middle. They'll get a kill with the fire strike, and here comes the rest on the backside. There's no hope for them. They're absolutely devastated. Dampus Pluto firing out the Coalescence, desperately trying to contest. A Transcendence maybe popped a little bit of excitement there. The contest coming back in, now it's Cosmic, but they easily pick up one tick on the back of that, and they're slaughtering the members of Excalibur as they try and get back onto the point. For example, Bongo just got shattered and destroyed, smacked and destroyed right there. Devon comes in, gets two. Why not? Basically, the cleanup phase in 6 minutes on the clock. Oh my lord, Space.
Nature's Chicken has been sent to the slaughterhouse this round. He's been unable to do anything. This
You're
whole
not gonna rest
round,
on these
he's
chicken
just
puns, are you,
been shut
Chicken? I wonder why.
Listen, I wonder why. I've been thinking about these for a day. I'm using them.
The preparation has been put in, ladies and gentlemen who are viewing, but man, what a convincing cap there by the folks from Space Chicken. What do you think went wrong for Excalibur's defense?
I just think the comp was too unconventional. The comp itself was dive tanks with a May Torbjorn. On Volskaya, that is an interesting one, because normally you want to see them commit to one or the other. But they just decided, why not? And it seemed like it just killed them.
Well, indeed it did. Let's also not forget the massive hammer down, which I'm actually watching on the stream. Bongo first to turn to the side there, and then I think the hammer down just comes in and absolutely destroys them. It's perfectly timed. They waited for the fire strike and capitalized on it, but man, that's vicious. Looking at the defense, it looks like we'll actually be seeing one of the newer strats on the market, or perhaps a variant of an old strat. That looks like a Baptiste bunker to me. And then a Bastion on the other side? I'm not exactly sure now, Baptiste. Oh, it looks like they're going for, is that a teleport? Is that a teleport Bastion I see on the other side going into this bunker?
Oh, is this a 5 DPS comp? A very unconventional thing that we have seen from another very specific team. But we will wonder how it is done.
Well, it's all going to be about the execution here as they get started. That Symmetra teleporter strat can take your opponents by surprise, but it can also easily get busted apart. They're going around the backside here. Fortunately, they've got somebody checking on that, so there won't be a huge surprise. The Sleep comes in on Atomic Rider. He pops right back up. Now they're using their own teleport to rotate out, but it looks like Slickster doesn't have the interact key down. He's going to have to go around the long way, but luckily Time Zone there, able to just hammer down the fire into that choke point and prevent what could have been an absolute disaster there for Space. I don't know if you saw that, Chicken, but he had to rotate all the way around the outside. He went over to the teleporter and he couldn't teleport. Looks like they might have fixed the problem. As Splicer takes a quick nap on the point, and his team celebrates the nap there too.
I mean, hey, he is trying to stay healthy with more sleep. I can't say that much. Looks like the interact is really giving him a nice bit of exercise, not having it down. It looks like they're going to switch to a Hammond.
I assume that he didn't have it down. Maybe it got destroyed. I'm not exactly sure, but here comes the roll against the Baptiste bunker holding strong. The teleporter is down. They're already starting to maneuver. The whole team goes in this time. Bongo following up quickly, though, with a big pile driver there. An anti-nade comes in as well on the Diva. They're knocking them apart. Bongo playing the Wrecking Ball to perfection there. Splits the team. JM Joe drops in front of a hungry Nature's Chicken, who takes him out almost immediately. The fight going back and forth here again. This Wrecking Ball all over the place, putting pressure on the Space players, but Space rights the ship a little bit. It's only PhD Cosmic contesting right now. There's really no much of a presence on the high ground. Those Splicer taking another nap up there again, so the Sleep Dart's at least getting in as 8 Ace is brought down. Sombra in the back line, though. Dampus Pluto running around back there, trying to build up that EMP, Chicken, which could be the game breaker here.
Yes, as if you EMP a bunker, it kind of just tends to... It's basically like, you know, shooting yourself.
It's true.
Before you run a marathon.
It's true. It does generally tend to die, but you have to build up to that EMP. Damp is definitely trying to do that. Gets a hack on Mercy in the back line, but teleports out immediately. Another anti-nade on Atomic Rider there. Baptiste actually playing pretty close up here with the team, recognizing the straight. Symmetra's shield in. Tank ultimate to follow it up. Time Zone pushing in front of the shield. Gets anti-naded. He's a little bit scared there for a second. Trying to get any value out of this tank. Won't find it. Immortality field goes down on the high ground as Nature's Chicken jumps in. Gets absolutely dunked on. DK Bongo up there now trying to contest. Slicer on the Orisa. Bongo just pumping in fire point blank. Drops the minefield to make the high ground invalid, and then the minefield really does nothing. Spa, the only casualty there, and they'll be rezzed right back in. So a very convincing hold here from Space. This bunker looking unbreakable on the high ground.
Yes, as it doesn't seem like the EMP was able to actually end up breaking it like it should have been able to. Or normally would, I should say. But the thing is, Space doesn't have a res this fight.
That's true, they don't have a res. Dampus Pluto actually coming up on that EMP, only 5% away, even less now. Bongo going in for the initiation. Pluto gets the EMP, it's huge, it gets 4. That's exactly what they needed. Sound barrier on point, just keep people alive. They have to follow up and get some kills here. They do start to get the kills. Time Zone alone and unsupported on the Bastion will get brought down. They're trying to claw this one back, though. It looks like Space, I think, might actually hold out here. Even as I say that, though, Skylar the only one who can touch, so after a very convincing hold, it does look like Excalibur Outlaws will take the point here, but it cost them significantly to get that far.
Who let the chicken out of the coop for that last fight? As he did decide to go ahead and get a 3K at the end, winning Excalibur that last fight. But it seems like Space has the ult advantage going into this next fight, as Excalibur used all of their resources trying to get the last point.
Well, they've got the potential for a huge ultimate combo. The McCree and the Baptiste, that damage gate boost, something that a lot of people haven't realized yet, but that can be absolutely savage with the high noon. So we're not going to quite see it yet. The initiation of Nature's Chicken and the Sombra. Now they have 3 DPS, actually. Another one up on the high ground here. Big stick gets Spa immediately. Immortality field comes down. There's the damage gate out. Bongo moving in with a very aggressive charge. Now they're starting to clean up the kills. So Space on the backside here. Bomb up over the top. No protection there for Cosmic, who goes down, but most of the members of Excalibur are pretty okay at the end of that. A Doomfist coming in from the other side, that's Spa, gets 1 pick and then is immediately out Doomfisted by his opposite number. Here comes Joe, back onto the point. Flexer there as well. So they're getting multiple point presence here. Bongo trapped behind enemy lines will be brought down. The only person left around is Damp Pluto, who runs for the hills. Cosmic, too, decides that discretion, the better part of valor. It does look like Space have managed to stabilize and prevent the snowball there.
Yes, and may I note that Time Zone has really been showing his zone of control on the Trace, really asserting his dominance over the other DPS. And looks like they're going to switch off of Bunker to more of a Ryan Zarya comp here on the side of Space, while Excalibur has the ult advantage.
Well, it looks like the push is coming in from Excalibur again. They're playing it very cautiously. Bongo leading the charge there. Gets punched and fire strike to start a huge EMP. Oh my god, that's 6! They have to follow up on this though. 1 kill coming in. Doomfist up in the air, drops down, gets another. That's 3 in the bank. Will they be able to clear the rest of the members? There goes Skylar. That's almost all of the team here for Space. Brought down a huge anti-nade on the tail end of it. Makes the cleanup so much easier. They take the second tick. They're coming in for a third. Somebody has to contest. They will drop in. And Splicer over the edge, holding on by their fingernails, and they'll get it. The only person who could have stopped them there was the Tracer Time Zone, and they had to recall, or they would have died, and wow, they managed to take it back. Excalibur Outlaws forcing this into an overtime.
Yes, it was a very, very nice push towards the end from Outlaws. Struggling at the beginning, but once they were able to break the bunker on the first point, they were able to take it. May I just note that Atomic Rider has been looking great on the Diva for the side of Space. Space has just been able to hold very well most of the time, while Excalibur has had a little bit of trouble attacking.
Well, it is a little bit of a difference in time banks. I was never very good at math, but 1 minute 44 seconds to 6 minutes does seem like a significant difference. It will, of course, be Excalibur who attacks first, see as much as they can get with that minute 44. Meanwhile, the Baptiste bunker coming in again for Space, and I kind of have to agree, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And it looks like we'll be seeing how long they can hold out here. They are taking their time, though, getting into the setup. They only have 18 seconds to get this bunker in place. They'll use the teleporter there, though, to set up as quick as they can. Still the tanks lagging behind, 10 seconds on the clock. They really need to settle in. Meanwhile, the same attacking formation we saw Chicken. Oh no, the teleporter disappeared right as Splicer and Atomic Rider. Boy, Splicer or whatever has been struggling with those teleporters today. As the attack begins here, so it's all hands on deck for Excalibur here. They really have to make this time bank count. Maybe try and build up to that EMP as quickly as they can. The damage coming in is very pitiful, though. Bongo on the backside tries to roll in, messes up the roll, has to pop the shields and get right back out. We're going to have Wrecking Ball needs to take another crack at that. Didn't quite like what happened right there. Nature's Chicken sneaking up now, trying to get in on an opportunistic pick. Bongo again around the backside. They might be ready for it this time, though. There's the push. Okay, so Sebastian's off the high ground. That will initiate the assault. They're knocking the bunker apart right now. Bongo rolling back on the point, just trying to displace them as best as possible. The D-Mac comes in. That's a big D-Mac at the beginning of this fight. Immortality field is down for the Orisa, but the kill comes in on Time Zone next. And that might be what it takes to break this bunker apart. And it's Nature's Chicken in the midst of it all with this Doomfist. Playing this like it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, just disrupting everything. Gets another pick in here. My lord, somebody stop this Doomfist. They can't. They get the res on Splicer to get him back onto the point, but it'll be short-lived just as long as the Orisa Fortify health pool lasts. And that is the end, so they will capture first point here, Chicken, before pushing forward.
Yes, this is a very interesting comp here. Second point's a little bit harder to the full quad DPS, but it is a possible thing. And Bango has just been looking great here, painting them around like they are bangos.
Bongos.
Bongo. You know what?
Bingo bango bongo, as some of you who have played Fallout might know. And here they are pushing forward onto the point. They're trying to initiate here, but oh no! Ace goes down in the back. That's going to cap the assault before it can even begin with only 22 seconds on the clock. They couldn't afford to lose the Ana back there, so a huge pick by the Tracer is going to delay this entire attack. They're scouting for the Sombra right now. Atomic Rider firing those shotguns all over the place, hoping to just clip the slippery hacker. They get the grab on. Oh no, time zone again! He's skirmishing about the field. He doesn't want anybody to get a touch. Nature's Chicken's gonna have to dive in. Bongo coming in with the backup. TMP following it up as well. Hammering or coming down with the fist. Gets one, so a bunch of ultimates being thrown in here. Immortality field coming out of Minefield and a Sound Barrier, both deployed. Just giving Excalibur the chance to fight this out. The res coming in on the Torbjorn. That Spa will get back in it. Diva Bomb up over the top could be big. No, they don't even need it. The point is mostly clear. Bongo and Chicken, the only one still fighting it out here. Chicken dancing around, trying to keep this alive. The Tracer there on Arrow trying to get in as well. Take the Mercy down. It will not work, and they'll sweep the point clear. And it does not look like Excalibur even managed to pick up a tick there, despite a relatively interesting start to that, Chicken.
Yes, it was a very interesting fight, as they did. Time zone was just not giving them any time to actually group up again and make a push onto the second point. We saw the 2 picks I randomly got while they were trying to push, which really hurt them, as the first one was on an Ana.
Yeah, that source of healing going down almost immediately. I think Time Zone with the sort of hero DPS plays there for his team, playing him out in the open on that Tracer, absolutely unstoppable. Some really convincing stuff, actually. I'm impressed. I appreciate that. I appreciate some good Tracer play, especially in this day and age.
Ah, yes, when it's not a very common thing in the land of Brigitte.
No, it's certainly not. I mean, considering the number of DPS that end up in this sort of oft cried about DPS or Brig Jail, it's interesting to see the Tracer play coming out there and really making an impactful difference. As we said, that Ana pick, absolutely huge. Looks like they're setting up here. They've got a bunker on one side, so trying to do their own imitation of space are Excalibur. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's these Zen Goats we've become quite familiar with here from space, and they've been quite effective with it as well, Chicken. So 6 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock to take a point and a bit.
Ah, yes, it should be a good one. Give me potentially sort of Excalibur's overall.
Well, it would have to be a defense worthy of song if we're going to get the tie in here. Slicer coming around onto the point already, contesting, just trying to toe the line there a little bit. They haven't actually touched the point yet. They're just trying to get somewhere where this bunker can't drop a lot of damage onto them. Spa coming in underneath. Might be caught out and burned down. I'm not sure exactly what Zenyatta was thinking right there. Here comes the charge by Bongo into this room, and they've got the majority of space kind of trapped in there. They're now trying to escape, but it won't really work. The only one who can maybe get out is the D.Va, and sure enough, Atomic Rider runs for cover, leaves Skylar and Joe behind, and they're both absolutely smushed. So they'll have to reset, and they've lost just about a minute there.
They still have a fight ahead of them. Well, if you look at the side of Excalibur, the configuration tank is nearly coming online. Well, Space seems to be having a slightly harder time building their ultimates as they're pushing into this.
Well, here comes upstairs Space, trying to get it on the action there. Slicer on the inside, swinging away with the hammer. Immortality field up to keep everything going. The Bastion well positioned in the back line there, trying to chunk in the damage, prevent them from getting to this narrow area. Hammer down comes in, gets no one. Rally coming out now, so Rally's on both sides being deployed. Keep a bomb coming in as well. Not exactly sure where that one ended up. Anyone on the backside of it. Tank mode comes on now, looking for a pick. Won't find anything. Atomic Rider. Oh, Atomic Rider with Joe. They get the move combined. They knock the Bastion off the edge of the map. There's no resing it back in either. That's absolutely huge play to break this bunker. Diva Bomb over the top gets no one, but now it's the members of Excalibur who are trapped in the room and getting burned down. Their two supports die in there. The only person around who can really contest this is Bongo, and he's getting driven off the edge of the map, and he'll choose suicide over continuing to contest so he can reset with the rest of the team. Perhaps the smart play there, already making moves to prevent the snowball, Chicken.
Yes. And it looks like Space is still going to have an ult economy advantage until you realize that the Valkyrie is nearly up side of Excalibur. So this should be an interesting fight as Bastion's going to be so.
Sound barrier to initiate. Damage Gate comes out as well, so Ultimate's being flipped back and forth. Immortality Field comes down alongside the grab. Doesn't really get the people in the grab, though. A bit misplaced. But 8 Ace up there on the high ground, absolutely chunking in damage. Manages to drive back most of the members of Space here, and they're in full retreat trying to reset. Bongo, hungry for another pick, throwing out the Fire Strike there at the very tail end. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong, Chicken, but I don't believe this can end in anything but a draw now. It can only end in a win and a draw, I should say, for Space,
Yes.
correct?
That would be correct. You either have to draw this on the side of Space. Worst case scenario, you're gonna have a little bit of security playing with it. Or in addition,
Well, here they are again initiating Eva Bomb over the back line. Might have been placed a little too far away. Transcendence coming in to keep the team up. Just trying to get some kills out of this. 8 Ace up on the high ground, still uncontested. Joe actually going up to try and fight the Bastion full DPS. Lucio doesn't really work out though, but unfortunately the kills coming in for the rest of the team. 8 Ace distracted just enough that the rest of the team was able to burn down without his damage really contributing. Eva Bomb over the top. Pluto the only person you can touch. That'll kill Cosmic as well. Pluto going into full Wrecking Ball stall mode. Immediately stunned out and pinned. Why not? That's the Wrecking Ball life. And Space takes Volskaya after a very convincing initial attack and almost just as convincing second attack there, Chicken.
Yes, they were unable to push with as much time left for obvious reasons, because that wouldn't have been possible. But they were able to push it with a lot of time left, and they were able to win the map off of it. Excalibur sort of looked bleak for them, and they could not win after losing that first game. Spa really shouldn't.
Sure enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a heck of a match we have on our hands here. The semifinals of the Diamond Tier for North America here in the Console Gaming League multi-tier tournament. Excalibur Outlaws versus Space. Space now up 2-1 on Excalibur. They're going to get their opportunity to fight back on the next map, and we'll be right back to you with that in just a second. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Console Gaming League multi-tier Overwatch tournament. I am Corbeck, joined in the production booth by Chicken and Rin, and we are bringing you an absolute cracker matchup here. The Tier 3 semifinal match between Excalibur Outlaws and Space, the 2 and 3 seeds respectively going into these finals. Space now up 2-1, but Excalibur with an opportunity to claw this back and take it to a map 5 as we come in here to map number 4, Eichenwald. And Chicken, you've been enjoying this game a lot. And I know, actually, that on your Twitter earlier today, you made the prediction it was going to be 3-1 Space. How's your fortune telling feeling right now?
It's feeling good, just the fact that Eichenwald tends to be a very prominent GOATS map, and that's what we have been seeing a lot from the side of Space. And they have looked dominant on it. They have looked aggressive and just played great. Meanwhile, Excalibur has had a hard time adapting to it on some of these, points.
Well, I can tell you that Space probably doesn't want to go to 5 maps. It would be 2 5-map games back-to-back if it did, considering their match that they played with the Throne on Wednesday night. But I have to admit, Chicken, they're not looking tired at all based on the amount of gameplay they've had over the last couple of days. They've come in absolutely swinging. That Volsky attack was deadly. And I think a lot of the stories of these maps, though, have been this really impressive DPS duel between Time Zone and Nature's Chicken. The two of them have just been playing spectacularly here. Some really good DPS play.
Yes, I am proud of my brother for the DPS.
Indeed. Well, here they come in. They're setting up the Mei here, so they're trying to trick them out just a little bit. Space backing up. There comes the wall. Arrow was caught in the outside, but he'll fade away. Moira was caught there too, but another fade. Fades all over the place here as they finally get under the bridge, but Strider's all alone. The rest of the team has to come in and back Strider up. They can't get there in time. Strider's brought down. He will go down, and Bongo taking a lot of pressure here as well. Nature's Chicken on the high ground with the Ash, trying to salvage something out of this from Excalibur, but they will not manage to do it. They're in full retreat, and they will reset here. That Eichenwald bridge can be so hard to push under, Chicken. It really can.
Yes, and due to the fact that it's kind of hard, there's no one on the high ground, meaning you can't get an early pick off of that. You have to hope you can separate someone off, but the Maywall is going to do that on the side of Space.
Oh, Hammer Down comes in. Really only gets one, though, so they're not really able to follow up on it. Time Zone Maywall again. They're waiting for the right opportunity to use it. They do. They get a pretty good split there. That'll cost Strider their life, and Bongo the mech. Oh, the pick's coming in fast and furious now. That's 3 down for Excalibur, and they will reset again. So holding the gate are the folks from Space, and they're not giving it up by any means.
Yes, because of the Mei, you can just stay at the bridge and just stay there unless you're able to bait out the wall. They will be unable to push this because they'll just be separated.
Indeed, they won't be able to push this. Bongo taking a little bit of the huge slam on the other one. Grab. It stops him from coming. The Mei freezes out. Gets all of them. He's actually getting kills off the freeze alone. They unleash the Death Blossom there, but it unfortunately really doesn't get them the cleanup they need, and Jam Joe there helping clean up a few kills of their own on the Lucio. Both teams absolutely devastated on the backside of the attack, but Excalibur with the respawn advantage will be coming in now. This is their opportunity. So despite some well-placed ults from the defenders, Excalibur now on the point, unleashing the sound barrier and answering. There's the Transcendence, the two of them fighting desperately on the point. Neither side getting an advantage. Hammer Down on the other side. Strider caught that. Will they also be able to finish off the kill on Dampus? No. Dampus survives. Diva Bomb comes in, gets no one. Kills being traded back and forth on the point. Bongo, frozen, gets burned out of the mech. That's another pick there. Excalibur doesn't want to back up a solo grab for all intents and purposes. There is Moira flits right out of it. And it does look, despite it looking very dangerous for Space, they have managed to hold on here. Even as I say that, though, Bongo remeching might come back in for another try, and instead gets frozen on the outside. Excalibur now getting into stagger territory, Chicken, and it looks like they're finally going to stop contesting it back up.
Yes, may I just point out that Atomic Raider has been pretty atomic on this Zarya, with the 2 grabs in the last fight and getting multiple kills over the course of it.
Well, I tell you what, for a second there, the Zarya had taken so much damage, and Atomic Raider did look like they bathed in nuclear waste, all things considered. Living up to the name, As again, Excalibur coming in, feeling the pressure down, 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to make this one count. Coalescence comes out, Blizzard comes out as well. That'll catch 2 and tanks again. Spa will go down early on though. Nature's Chicken getting 2 in the backline. That's 2 supports down. That's absolutely huge. They try to use the Death Blossom, gets stunned out of it, turns around and kills Brigitte anyway. And so on the back of Nature's Chicken's amazing picks of both the Lucio and the Zenyatta, they'll take this point.
Yes, Nature's Chicken has been giving them hard pecks every fight with these picks. However, will Space be able to counter the Tracer with the Brigitte of their own? Not to mention the fact that the Tracer can get a couple one-clips on the back of a...
Well, it didn't really matter that time. Time Zone was there to shut it down. Strider cut off again by a main wall. Jay Reinhardt in a lot of trouble. Bongo coming forward, tries to DM, but Reinhardt does not work. Bongo now frozen. Sound barrier comes out, but it's too late to save the mech. That is unfortunate. The kill feed looking solid blue, but here comes Nature's Chicken, the hero of the hour, getting the punch in on the Skylar, so that's a break out of this fight. Still odds not in favor of the most from Excalibur. They'll pop the Transcendent. Spa trying to keep his team alive through this fight. The respawn advantage slightly working in favor of Excalibur. Spa caught in the shatter, but the counter shatter is even bigger. Oh, Splicer gets 3 or 4 in that, and that will stop the attack dead. Even as I say that, though, Splicer goes down, and here comes the team. They're pushing forward, just cleaning it up. They've broken through this choke point, and now it'll be on Space to reset here and recontest. As again, it was Nature's Chicken who came in and got that initial pick on the Brigitte that just kind of cracked the defense.
Yes, so Nature's Chicken has been big on the defense the entire match. It is honestly amazing to see this kind of defense.
Arrow sectioned off and killed there, though, so that's an unfortunate pick for Excalibur at the start of this. May Blizzard in, Strider caught on the outside edge, will be killed post-haste. Diva fleeing as well, will not be brought down. Moira running away. They're full retreat there on Excalibur, so just as effectively as they storm forward, they will now go back and reset, sitting on the ultimate advantage, but only a slight one.
Yes, the ultimate advantage while being on the side of Excalibur. If you look at the ult of Space, Spa is 70% to his Transcendence, and he has been building it fast most of this match. Keep in mind, this is food territory. I can
Bomb coming in on the back line. Meteor Strike over the top as well. Bongo gets 2 with the bomb. That's a huge opening. It's exactly what they need. Coalescence is cleaning up kills as well. And it's a desperate defense by the last members of Space here. Joe trying to get back to the point, but he only needs Reinhardt's hammer. A little bit of help from the Moira, and they'll get through there.
Pluto has been pounding them the whole game on the board. When he's not healing, he's giving them a slight unwind on the Moira as they push it to the next right here, which should be an interesting one.
Well, you got to watch out for those Moiras. You really do. As they come forward, Strider. Oh, it's a big hammer down. He's got 2 victims. He hits one. The sound barrier comes in though, and it turns on Slicer Smith. Like that at all, he's down almost immediately. Death Blossom over the top, Transcendence to cancel it out. Spa hitting a crucial trans to keep his team fighting. They're going back and forth around the point now. Reaper pushing forward though, Arrow getting another opportunistic pick, farming on these tanks as we speak. They've split the members of Space here. Atomic Rider in a lot of danger, trying to get back behind the Reinhardt shield. Won't make it. They're pushing forward. All the kill feeds red as they're coming in. I don't know if they're going to be able to get... They'll get one more fight out of this, maybe, if they're lucky. Oh, the rally cut off before it can even get started. They won't even get the fight. They're too late to touch, and Excalibur manages to take it in through at least 2 or 3 convincing team fights.
Yes, Excalibur started to look better towards the end there as I struggled trying to get through the Icon Wall bridge on the first point. They're looking a lot better now after they were able to break that defense. But with only 35 seconds left, Space can easily attack with more time. And I expect Goats to come out from Space because that is what they have been doing all night, and they have been doing it amazingly.
Well, you say they've been doing it amazingly, Chicken, but they struggled right there with the Goats composition. Do you think that Excalibur might finally have sort of pieced together this puzzle of how they can break up this Zen Goats?
It is possible. However, it could have just been a slight struggle due to the fact that they did switch off of the Mei to the Zarya mid-round, killing the ult economy, which is really what helps you in Goats.
Well, let's see if your prediction has come true. And it does look like you are correct. A GOAT setup with Ana in the slot instead of the Zenyatta coming out from space. Meanwhile, on the other side, Excalibur. Looks like they're running maybe essentially the exact same composition they were running again at the end there. The 2-2-2 with Nature's Chicken on that absolutely deadly Doomfist, and Arrow coming over on the Reaper. So a matchup of what we just saw, Chicken, and you think that their goats can overcome this?
I think they can. Nature's Chicken can be cooped up again. They can easily win, however, Nature's Chicken has been causing a massive disruption in Space's backline for most of the game.
Well, Nature's Chicken is on the loose. They're going to have to put him back on the roost as they come around through the outside of the tower, immediately engaging, looking for an initial pick. Can't quite find anything. Big anti-nade in on the back line, but they're not really going to be able to capitalize it. Doomfist playing risky on the outside. Nature's Chicken jumping right back out, though, playing it wise there at the end. Oh, it's a huge charge. He gets from Reinhardt. A big punch through the middle, the anti-nade, not enough to slow them down. They want to capitalize on this. Nature's Chicken leading the way. Time Zone killing their personal bugbear, though. That's Nature's Chicken going down, but it's too little too late for most of Space. They're going to reset hard, I think, and try and push in on the heels of this while they have the opportunity. Nature's Chicken, of course, desperately trying to come back as quickly as possible on that Doomfist from the spawn. Will get in there just about the time the battle starts. Hammer down on the other side, gets nothing. Grab thrown in. It's a big grab. Will they be able to follow up on it? Time Zone kills himself. That's not exactly what you want to see on the side of this. Down comes the Doomfist ultimate. Gets no one, but they're fight all over the point. Quite a brawl. Rally coming out now from Skylar, but really only rallying for themselves. And Skylar now trying to escape is getting bullied by every member of Excalibur, and that ends another attack. And they might want that rally back.
Yes, they did start investing ults after the Zarya was down, which is mostly damage dealing inside of that GOAT's composition. However, it seems like they're switching it up a little bit.
Well, now Spa coming over the top on the Pharah, so a full Pharmacy being unleashed this time. That could be a bit of a counter here. Still the ultimate advantage solidly in favor of Excalibur Outlaws. Excalibur playing very tight on the point, grouping up a little bit, not trying to give this Pharah any opportunistic picks. Hammered down, coming out, really gets no one. They're pushing in a lot of damage from the Pharah, but not really able to find much room. D.Va up in the air to contest. Hammered down the opposite direction, only gets one. Sound barrier coming out will save Arrow's life there, preventing the charge from coming in. Now Arrow repays the favor, getting some kills. And Nature's Chicken with 2 on the Doomfist. My lord, somebody put this man in jail. Talk about somebody who needs to be in brick jail. Good lord, Chicken. He's absolutely tearing them apart.
Yes, Chicken has been unleashed. He is showing himself at the top of the pecking order today.
I really think that's the difference factor we're looking at here.
Well, on the Pharah has been doing a lot of damage. He is close to the barrage coming into this next fight.
Pharah gets the cross right into say that. He's going to look for a good opportunity to use it. You can see they're dropping in low. They unleash, but the D.Va is there, eats most of the damage. They won't even get a kill off of it. Spa is lucky to escape with their life. Sound barrier drop now. They have to follow up on this, but D.Va bomb over the top. No, it doesn't get anyone. Atomic Rider managing to get in on the kill action, but it might not be enough. They need to see some action from this far. A counter D.Va bomb just dropped point blank. That won't get anyone either. Does force... Oh no, it's all over the place for Space right now. They can't seem to get organized. Spa trying to get out, picked out of mid-air. The only person who's still kind of standing around is Time Zone with that switch to the Sombra sitting on the EMP, but is 30 seconds going to be enough, Chicken, for them to get that 25%?
It is possible, however, it will be hard to get in a fight. If they all do not get there, however, it seems like they'll be fine. It will have to be a short fight, though, in order for them not to be pushing overtime.
Well, we said it's possible. Time Zone does have the EMP, but Joe taken out of action early by Nature's Chicken. They need that EMP. Time Zone unleashes it. His team needs it. They get the res. They have to follow in, but Spawn goes down almost immediately. They're clearing out the point with the Death Blossom as well. Coalescence coming out. Now Space has no hope left. Joe, the only person still contesting on the Lucio. Will they be able to keep it up enough time to get in with the rest of the team? Skylar's Valkyrie finally runs out on Joe. Joe burned down. Skylar dives in, tries to touch, won't make it. Can any of the other members of Space get on point? And they can't! And it's a full hold on Eichenwald for Excalibur to push this into map 5.
It is a very interesting hold as going against that GOAT's composition on Eichenwald first point tends to be really difficult. However, it seems like Excalibur finally figured out the formula, the arithmetic to take down Space's GOAT's composition. I guess you could say they pulled the sword out of the rock.
They really did find their sword in the stone there. They've cracked this GOAT's composition. Now Space got to find some answers here as we go into map 5 with this series tied 2-2. You are watching the multi-tier tournament for the Console Gaming League Excalibur Outlaws versus Space in the Tier 3 semifinals, and we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Console Gaming League multi-tier tournament. I'm Corbett, joined here in the booth by Chicken and Rin on the production, and we are bringing you a tense, close matchup here in the semifinals of Tier 3. It's Excalibur Outlaws versus Space. Excalibur Outlaws with a full hold on Volskaya to tie this match, to bring it up to 2-2. Now we're going into map 5. That will be a King of the Hill match on Busan. No swaps on the side of Excalibur Outlaws, but some swaps coming in on the side of Space. Chicken, what do you think they're playing off of with those swaps?
Quad DPS. Bluntly.
Quad
I think
DPS?
there's going to be quad or triple DPS. Because look, right?
Woo.
DJ has been playing a great hamster this game. Atomic has, been doing good on his role, but, who knows what they could be pulling out.
Well, we're seeing Resistant Duke, who got brought in. DJ Lola Star was also brought in here, so we do see the Hammond and the Widowmaker both coming out. This particular stage on Busan does favor the Widowmaker play. Meanwhile, on the other side, They're not running that. Nature's Chicken trying to decide between the McCree and the Tracer here will stay on the... go back to the Doomfist. Why not? Hey, if the Doomfist is working, there's no need to change it. And Arrow staying on the Reaper, so that anti-Goat's composition, but they're coming into a 2-2-2 here, Chicken. Do you think they're in for a nasty surprise?
Yes, I do, due to the fact that Widowmaker can kill both of their DPS characters. But it looks like they're going to avoid the sight lines of the Widowmaker here.
Oh, DJ Lola coming in, trying to get an early boop, but he's booped in turn. Oh no, that's the last thing they wanted to see. Joe eats it up immediately though, gets vengeance for the Wrecking Ball right off the backside. And they're fighting all over the point now, but it looks like Excalibur is really set up here, not giving any ground. Time Zone dropping in the back on the Genji, trying to put in a little bit of damage. Lola Star rolling back in. Here comes the pile drive, the kills again. GM Joe getting, I think, another boot that time on the Doomfist. Resistant Duke is brought down by the Reaper. I don't even know where that's happening. And early point control goes to Excalibur. So when they're fighting for their lives, their playoff hopes on the line, Space loses the initial fight, and Excalibur takes control of the point.
Joe hasn't been playing like your average Joe, as he has been getting a few boops here and there. On Excalibur players, it looks like he is racking up his boop count.
Well, it's always good to see the Lucio fragging out just a little bit, but here comes the initiation. It's a pile driver, not a lot off of that. DJ Lola has to roll away. Time Zone trying to get in and cause a little bit of havoc as well, but they need a pick and they won't find it. Nature's Chicken gets Lola Star to initiate. That's exactly what Space didn't want to see again. The Wrecking Ball, one of the earliest picks here. And they're backing right off as that counter continues to tick up. Joe is trapped, has to get out on this Lucio. Might just manage to do it. The rest of the team starting to come in though. A little bit of a miscommunication. Another pile drive in over the top. The Moira doing a great job of peeling out. But Nature's Chicken is down. That's a huge weapon to be taken out of the fight at the beginning. And now they're brawling it out on point. Sound Barrier unleashed. Death Blossom comes in the backside. That's Lucio out of this fight. Atomic Rider pinned and brought down. Minefield from the backside, trying to gain point control, wrested away from Excalibur, but the kill's just not going the way of Space right now. Lola Star gets one, but it's not really enough. Skylar and the Wrecking Ball, the only two people on the point as they tick closer and closer to the mystical 85% number, but they don't want to end the fight. Joe comes diving in over the top now. Time Zone's here as well. Lola Star backing out. They're trying to backcap. It's just Joe here. The two Lucios having a little bit of a frog. Moira coming back in with the Coalescence. 85% mark has been passed. One extended fight here. The Fist comes down, gets no one. Pulse Bomb is huge though, and they get the boot as well. There's the opening that they need, but it's 96%. That being said, Space all over this. Two members still trying to contest here for Outlaw. Nature's Chicken going in, looking for an opportunistic pick, will not find it. Bongo jumps over the edge, and they will flip a chicken. They're going to have to be absolutely perfect here.
Oh yes, they will. Due to the fact that the ults are kind of even here. But Nature's Chicken is going to swap off of the Doomfist what he has been doing great on this map. And go to a McCree while the Deadeye is nearly charged up on the side of Space with the Valkyrie now.
Well, a brief contest on the high ground there. JM Joe already looking to get into boom territory, or maybe get an early pick for his team. He finds one. That's Arrow taken out of the start. Arrow taken out of the start. That's a big pick. That Reaper damage no longer going to be a contributing factor here. Time Zone hunts down the McCree and gets another one too. So Time Zone answering Nature's Chicken back by getting the picks. They'll send Atomic Rider over onto the train tracks too. And good lord, those have been some deadly train tracks. Don't play on train tracks, kids. That's what we're learning here on the first point of Busan.
Yes, that is a very great moral of this map. As Joe has just been showing himself as not the average Lucio. You can say he's not the average Joe, because he isn't. He has been popping off.
Oh, Time Zone again with an early pick on the support. This time it's Cosmic, stuck for the second time in the match by the Tracer Pulse Bomb, and that's forcing Excalibur back. And boy, Space has to play this perfectly, and they're trying their absolute best to do exactly that. Excalibur now resetting. PhD jumping back in on the back line. They're gonna go up the middle this time. No, they're going around the outside edge. A little bit of an attempted debate there. That's Fire Strike up the middle. They will get on. Joe looking for a boop again, doesn't fight it. He gets the Lucio. No, he gets the other Lucio. Cosmic is out, so another 5-6 to initiate Duke with an initial pick as well. Hammer down coming in. Diva Bomb follows it up. They might get something out of that. They get one. Death Blossom coming in. Doesn't really get anyone though. Bomb on the outside edge of the map. Diva remeching. Atomic Rider continuing the fight there. really just Arrow, the only one left alive. Sound Barrier coming in now, trying to keep the team in. Counter Sound Barrier from Joe will help them get through this Coalescence minefield on the point. Maybe they'll get one with it. I don't know. Winston dives in, takes a ton of damage, drops straight onto a mine. They're holding in the minefield right now. This sort of preemptive dive composition not really working. High Noon from Duke gets 2. He's cleared the point. Bongo's the only one there. They're jumping back in with the Moira, but the Moira gets brought down almost immediately. Diva panicking on the point, trying to hold on, is knocked off right away. And Space brings it back from 0 to 99%. My lord, what a match.
It went 0 to 100 real quick.
What play by Space. I don't know about you, Chicken, but that was absolutely perfectly played. And Time Zone was the one who was making the huge difference there again with that amazing Tracer play, shutting them down before they could even get onto the point.
I think the unsung hero of their comp is DJ, who has been playing some nice music so that they can boop around the other team. They have been unable to actually move and play the game.
GM Joe initiated almost every single one of those team fights when they flipped that point with a boot. That means they started almost every fight 6-5. And that was a huge contributing factor. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, playing here into the temple, the one with the drum. And this is where it'll be decided. Can Space wrench this one away, win another 3-2, or will Excalibur push forward, push this to one last stage here on Busan, and try and turn it around? Immediately engaging its Time Zone, caught in the back by Nature's Chicken, the 2 DPS finally going head-to-head here. A dive composition coming out from Excalibur. Wrecking Ball in full stall mode on the point, just spinning around, trying to knock them back. They can't quite seem to get anything going. Atomic Rider desperately hunting for a pick, won't quite find one, loses the mech instead. Wrecking Ball still trying to contest. Nature's Chicken gets Joe. The kill feed going back and forth. Neither team really asserting superiority, but the kill on the Mercy probably will seal it here. Time Zone trying to delay just a little bit longer, prevent Excalibur from taking the early cap. But there you go. After a back and forth fight, they'll finally rust it away.
Yeah, it was a very interesting fight.
It was an interesting fight indeed, but they're going on now. Resistant Duke coming into a High Noon, and his High Noons have been absolutely deadly for what a lot of people refer to as a suicide ultimate here. DJ Lola Star initiating with a huge ham and boost pile drive comes down. It's knocked most of Excalibur back on the point. There's the High Noon. You hear it. Is he going to be able to get a ticket off of this? Anyone. He gets one, and it's a big one. The Moira goes down. The Sound Barrier has to be committed. The D-Mech is around as well. Will they be able to hold on to it? Excalibur down a hero, but Arrow going ham on the other 2 DPS. Picks 2 in the back line. And it's intense. It's going back and forth. 38% slowly ticking up here. The res coming in on Resistance Duke. And Space managing to turn it around to Death Blossom heroically by Arrow trying to change it. The only person left just trying to contest for as long as possible is PhD Cosmic, but they'll be brought down. So it's 48% on the clock here, Chicken. And things looking pretty desperate for both these teams.
Well, yes, if you look at both of the teams, Excalibur does have an ultimate advantage, however, it doesn't seem like it will last that long, as Space is closely ticking to the Sound Barrier and the Diva Bomb. Oh wait, they do have the Diva Bomb, it's just Atomic without a mech.
Well, here comes the initiation, ladies and gentlemen. Time Zone jumping out before they can get brought down. Winston over the top, Diva Bomb to follow. Gets 2, Atomic Rider cuts the attack in half. That's exactly what they needed out of the Diva Bomb. A huge play by the Diva player. And now they're pushing him back again, and Excalibur is in full retreat as Space, having taken the point, just holds on. And this is absolutely a sweaty time here from both these 2 teams coming into Busan. Boy, I'm sweating. I'm on the edge of my seat. This is an amazingly close matchup.
That self-destruct was like an atomic bomb on the Space.
Self-destruct coming in the other direction. High Noon unleashed as well. Primal Rage on the point, just trying to zone someone out, maybe get a pick out of that. Excalibur forcing their way onto point. Brute strengthening it. The Sound Barrier coming out as the counter. Minefield here as well. Preventing a bit of a Lucio contest. Nature's Chicken getting felled in backline by Time Zone. So that's DPS duel 1 before the fight even starts. Skylar down. Time Zone shipping back in, though. That's the Moira down. Both main healers out of the fight. Atomic Rider loses the mech, will not get a chance to remech, but DJ Lola Star spinning around the point there, preventing them from recontesting. It's 82% Sound barriers dropped in. Bongo trying to hold on now. Excalibur knows their fate is on the line. They do not want to give up the point. Nature's Chicken coming back in the form of a May is forced to use Ice Block before they even touch the point. 93%, 94%, it's ticking down. Excalibur, most of their players are back on, fighting for the point. They're going for Resistant Duke on the outside. He's kept up. All the hits from Valkyrie Death Blossom could be huge, but they're just trading the kills back and forth. Neither side seemingly getting the edge that they need. Excalibur maybe turning this one around. It's 3-3 on the point. Make it 4-3, 3-3, 4-2. The numbers are all over the place. Neither team really getting off the minefield there. Huge false bomb. Timezone hits it. He's just won it for his team. There's no way they can come back from this. Lola Star goes down, and that signals it. Oh my lord, Timezone of Space with the huge hero DPS play at the end, and you don't see that in Overwatch very much anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, on the back of another 3-2, Space will secure it. My lord.
What an insane play at the end from Timezone. But Joe has not been playing like your average Lucio. He has been booping them around. He has been showing his aggression. He has been allowing his team to be aggressive, along with the Hammond, who has just stopped them from playing the game.
Oh, that last pulse bomb by Timezone, just amazing. But all credit to the folks from Excalibur. They fought their absolute hearts out there, took them to a 3-2, a very impressive series of games. But in the end, it is Space that emerges victorious here in the CGL multi-tier tournament Tier 3 semi-final match, coming out 3-2 over Excalibur Outlaws. Any final thoughts here, Chicken, before we wrap up our cast on what has been one of the most thrilling playoff games? I dare to say one of the most thrilling playoff games in CGL history, because that was absolutely spectacular play from both those teams.
It looks like the sword will stay in the stone.
It does look like the sword will stay in the stone today. Excalibur, not drawn when they need it, but nearly picking up the win there by the barest of margins. In Space, they play it close, another 3-2, but boy, do they put on some entertaining Overwatch. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, that huge bomb by Timezone, I just saw it again. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's more playoff action coming for you this week as Space punches their tickets to the final here at the end of this. Tomorrow, early in the morning, you can catch me and I believe Brino Lad casting the EU tier Outplay Esports versus Not Even Trying semifinal over on PS4 on Saturday night, 4 p.m. Eastern. You can see Outplay's Angels versus Vindication EU, and then more games coming up on Sunday and into next week as our semifinals wrap up for all of our 5 tiers. I've been Korbeck here, joined by Chicken and Rin in production, who's been doing an amazing job. Thank you so much, Rin, for handling all of that. And we have just brought you this exciting matchup. And in the end, it was Space 3, Excalibur Outlaws 2, as Space moves on to the finals. From all of us here at the CGL, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the cast, and we'll see you for more playoff games tomorrow.
See you guys. By any chance, before you guys leave, was there anything you'd like to self-promo?
I'm okay, thank you. Go for it, Chicken, if you want.
Go Chicken.
At Chicken1781 on Twitter.
There you go. Follow. He's got predictions. They're not always exactly right, but they're close. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Night, guys.